Hi everybody. Guess where I am? On top of the world. I'm on top of a fifth wheel. And a customer has asked if we could service his air conditioners and do a roof check. And from what I'm seeing here, somebody at some point put down a nice coat of Henry Tropicool on the roof. And judging by the age of the unit, I'd say it's probably an EPDM roof. But they've got this Henry's on here. And from what I'm seeing, I mean, it's in pretty good shape. I don't see any cracks, gaping holes that would concern me. Everything's looking like in pretty good shape. I mean, it's not clean, but you know, there ain't nobody up here to get all judgy about that. But yeah, I'm not saying anything that concerns me. So whoever put the Henrys down did a pretty good job. I've seen some pretty sloppy installs of Henrys before. People that don't clean the roof first and they just start slinging it down, and that ain't good. The skylight still has a lot of die-core exposed. I don't know why they didn't take the Henrys and go over all that. That probably would be the only concern I would have, is that die-core. It really don't look bad. I mean, it just looks old. The screw heads are kind of wanting to poke through, but you know, we could clean that up. Clean that up and rinse it off, let it dry out, and put a nice new layer of die-core over it. Put some more on, because I guess I'm a moron. Some people out there know exactly who I'm talking about. But anyway, we've got two Dometic old school DUO-THERM air conditioners, and man, these things are tanks. If you've got these old DUO-THERM air conditioners and they're still blowing cold air, run them. Run. I've seen them as old as 20 years old and still running, putting out cold air. Main unit, bedroom unit. But anyway, we're going to take those covers off and we're going to service some air conditioners. I realized recently when I had a customer ask me about how do you clean an air conditioner, and I referred them to my channel, and I said, well, I've got a video on that. No, I don't. That's pretty bad when you don't know what you got a video of. So I'm gonna make a video for you and for whoever cares. We're gonna clean an air conditioner. So anyhow, first thing we got to do is get that shroud off, and after we get that off, we're going to blow it out. I brought up my little handy dandy Ryobi blower, and we're going to blow all the debris out of there. But be careful, guys, when you're taking these shrouds off, because wasps, they like to build their nests up in there, and I don't like wasps. So I'm going to kind of knock a few times on the shroud, see if anything comes out of there. And if not, we're going to take her off, and then I'll bring you in on to the next step. Let's go. Oh, guys, before I get started, please give a subscribe if you don't mind. We really appreciate it. Share our videos if you find them useful, helpful. Leave a comment. We love the interaction. And anyhow, let's get busy. Enough chit chat. All right, so what's under the hood? Let's have a look. There you go. This is the old DUO-THERM air conditioner. And man, this was a fantastic unit. I wish they still made them, because the DUO-THERM Brisk Air 2 that they replaced with is, I'm not a fan. Let's just put it that way. But what we're going to do here is, now that we've got the hood open, we're going to take our blower, blow all this debris out of here. And then after we get all that debris blown out, we're going to take this cover off, and that'll give us access to the evaporator. So we're going to go ahead and take all these little screws out here, and they go all the way around. And then once we get them screws out, we can get the cover off, and we'll have access to the evaporator. And then we'll show you what we do next. Well, one thing I'm going to do before I get started with that evaporator is I'm going to take my comb here, my coil comb, and I'm going to come back here to this condenser, and there's some places, I don't know, tree branches hit, maybe even hail. I've seen hail damage on the condenser too. It's not real bad. It got some fins that are kind of smushed over, but you can take a coil comb and find the right size, and I may have to go down and get a different size. This is the predominant size on most air conditioners, but it looks like maybe back in the day Dometic used a little wider gap, and I know that's going to be too fat. Alright, well, anyhow, what we're going to do is we're going to straighten out some fins, and it's probably not going to make a night or day difference with what he's got going on here, but sometimes you'll see a lot of them smushed over, and you just want to take your comb and just straighten them out, because the condenser's job back here is to get rid of the heat, and it's going to blow it out, right? Blow it out. And if these things are smushed over, then you're not going to get as much heat removed, and your air conditioner ain't going to cool as well. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do about straightening it up. What he's got going on here, it's not too bad, not too terrible. I'm going to spray this down with a coil cleaner and let that soak while we go open up the evaporator. What we use for a coil cleaner is from Hill Company here, and that is their no rinse no mess coil cleaner and conditioner. Eliminates odors, cleans the coils up. I'll definitely use that on the evaporator side, since that's the side the customer would be smelling. There is another brand that we use that works just as well. I think you can buy that at Lowe's. It's pretty much the same stuff. It might not be as good as the Hill stuff, but anyhow, when it says no rinse, we rinse anyway, because it just ain't going to condensate enough to really get a good rinse on the evaporator. The condenser here, it doesn't make it doesn't condensate, so this will definitely need a rinse. But we want to clean the condenser as well as the evaporator, because the evaporator is what's you want your room air to go across it to grab the cold and kick it into the room, and it strips, when it comes back in, it strips it of the heat and kicks the heat out on the condenser. So if there's a film or dirt all over the condenser, well, that's interfering with the displacement of the heat. So I go ahead and spray that guy down, and it'll foam up and all that. And then after I let that soak for a while, I'll come up here with my nylon brush and just rake my brush over our fins here. Now, if your fins look like they're wanting to bust off, they look real brittle and fragile and all that, do not put a brush on it. Just spray it down, let it soak a while, and then just take you a pump sprayer with some rinse water in it. That's what I've got right there. And you're just gonna rinse it off, because you don't want to bust off your fins. But if your fins are looking that bad, it may be time just to replace the roof unit. So this is about all I'm going to do here. Just want to make sure I'm covering all the fins with cleaner. And then I'll go and I'll hit it from the inside as much as I can. This cowling's in the way of most of it. And then of course the fan blade is in the way too. So, but I'll get as much of it as I can from the inside. And we'll just let that soak while I go ahead and take apart the evaporator box. Alright. Yeah, you can see there's just a lot of obstacles in the way. But I just do my best to get that jet stream of cleaner in there and just hit what I can hit. And let that soak, and then we'll give that a good rinse here in a little bit. Alright, so we got a 5/16. Well, I'm not even sure what you call that. A socket of sorts. Anyway, 5/16. That's what these old DUO-THERMs have all the way around. So I'll just take each one of those out and we'll open it up. Well, I picked a good unit to give you guys a tutorial on. And this is a extremely dirty evaporator. You normally don't find them this soiled. So right here is our freeze sensor, and this guy is supposed to be in here tied up against the coils. I'll show you when we're done cleaning what I mean by that. But yeah, we're going to take some of these pig mats here that I brought up, and we're going to lay these guys over our holes so we don't get no water or cleaner downstairs. Good idea to go turn your breaker off to the unit. So we'll just pack this hole full of pig mats here, keep anything from happening downstairs. But yeah, this is a very dirty evaporator. I'm wondering if this thing has never in its life been cleaned. But sometimes you have that. So pig mat, beach towel, whatever, cover up your hole, protect the electronics, turn off your breaker, and then we're going to spray this down with some coil cleaner and let that guy soak. And probably what I'm going to do while that's soaking is go back there to the condenser, brush it off, and then give it a good rinse and come back and probably spray this again before I hit it with a brush, because that's a lot of buildup on there. But again, if the fins act like they want to break on you, like they're real brittle, don't use a brush. Just cleaner, soak, and give it a good rinse off. And because you don't want to contribute to any kind of refrigerant leak, or make it so that the air conditioner can't cool anymore. So, but other than that, the inside of the evaporator don't look terrible. But we're going to clean it too, and obviously you can't get a brush in there, so that's going to be pretty much a soak down with cleaner, let it soak, and then rinse it off. Give your motor a spin there. Got some buildup on the inside of the hub of the fan over here, but we'll spray that down with some cleaner and rinse it off, but not a horribly big deal. The squirrel cage in here, it's dirty, but it's not like by any means the worst that I've seen. I've seen them so bad where I'm just like, yeah, that squirrel cage has got to come out. We got to get that thing cleaned up. But theirs don't look horrible, so we're going to let that ride. But okay, here we go. Let's get started. All right, here we go. Got her all sprayed down. The outside sprayed and the inside sprayed. And this is what I was doing, just back and forth, back and forth. And you can see this foam, it's going to expand and all that. It's going to get past the drain pan down there. So that's why we put that pig mat to catch all that. Because as those foam bubbles dissolve, it turns back into the liquid form, and that pig mat catch all that. So we're going to let that soak, and we're going to go address the condenser. This is the cover to the evaporator, and you can see this is the inside, where the air return is hitting up against this panel here to go back across the evaporator. I'm just going to take some coil cleaner, kind of spray it down, use my brush here, kind of clean it up. Just make it a little bit nicer inside. Alright, well, you can see here underneath a lot of that dirt and that grime, you've got some of these aluminum fins bending and looking like they're fragile and brittle, not connected anymore. So I'm not going to take any more brush action to this. I am going to soak it down with cleaner some more and give it some rinses. We're going to spray it, clean it. We're going to spray it, soak it, rinse it, spray it, soak it, rinse it. And that'll be as clean as we're going to be able to get this guy. It's the Achilles heel of the DUO-THERM. These fins, they just get old and brittle. And yeah, anyway, she's got a couple soaks on her and a light brushing, and we're going to go ahead and give it a rinse, and probably going to give it another soak. This guy was especially dirty. Just doing a very light pressure with that. Not going to cause any damage. And I think, guys, that's going to be about the best we're going to be able to do with this. All right. It is a lot better than it was. Alright, apparently my camera shut itself off because it was too hot. Who knew a GoPro would do that? Alright, well, this is as good as it's going to get right here. It is a lot better than it was, but this has had a hard life, you can tell. So we're going to leave well enough alone here, put our freeze sensor back in, get this thing closed up, taped up, and go give her a test run. Alright guys, well, we've got it as cleaned up as we're going to get it. Got the evaporator cover back on. It's cleaned up on the inside. We cleaned the walls of the evaporator box, cleaned the coils as well as we could. I sprayed one more coat of the no rinse coil cleaner on it and left it. And didn't touch it with a brush, didn't rinse it, just left it on there, so it's got a lot of time to eat at whatever is between the fins, and then the condensation will rinse out as much as it'll rinse out. But as far as our condenser, It's looking a lot better. It's actually got a shine to it now. And all that's left now is to go run it. What I'm going to do is go inside, take down the filter. I'll bring it outside, soak it in some coil cleaner, rinse it off, get a good clean on it, put it back. And about that time, it should be ready to go ahead and give it a good test run. But in the meantime, I got another one to do. So, but I wanted you guys to see, you know, how it is that we do, you know, an AC service. And now you know how you can do it yourself. Guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to give us a subscribe, a like, a share, a comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.